It's been close, but no cigar for the North Stars lately. Their winning ways have come to a momentary halt, but things have been close, as I mentioned anyway. Witness Monday night, the St. Louis Blues. Brian Propp nails a goal to tie the game at 3, but nonetheless, the Stars will have to put it in the winless column. Still, they've been playing much improved hockey with the playoffs just around the corner. Welcome to Los Angeles and the Great Western Forum. Tonight, it's the Minnesota North Stars and the Los Angeles Kings. Hello, everybody. This is Doug McLeod, and welcome to the Pacific Time Zone, and welcome back. By popular demand, we couldn't keep him off any longer. Lou Nanne is here with us on this broadcast tonight. He'll be along for the playoffs as well. And speaking of playoffs, Louis, kind of an interesting situation here. The North Stars wanting to play to be sharp going into the playoffs. But there's no question about their being in the playoffs or what position they'll finish in the Norris Division. Quite a different situation out here in the Smythe, where it's a red-hot end of the season between Los Angeles and Calgary.
Well, actually, Los Angeles is really concerned about it because they have never won a division title. Since 1967, when expansion came, they are the only National Hockey League club of those original 12 that hasn't won a divisional title. Pittsburgh won 2 nights ago, yeah. So now it's up to LA, and they have to win both these games if Calgary wins the next 2 against Edmonton. And tonight, Calgary's already leading Edmonton 4-0. So this is really big for Los Angeles, but I watched them play in the third period the other night against Edmonton, and if they play against us tonight the way they played against Edmonton the other night, we're going to beat them. Edmonton really took it to them in the third period. LA was back on their heels. They played real good in the first period, but LA might be looking past the North Stars tonight, and that could be in the North Stars' favor.
It sure could, and in this building, you know, anything can happen, especially if the puck starts flying. About the Los Angeles Kings, and when you do that, you got to talk about the 90-9. Wayne Gretzky, who, interestingly enough, was on a goal-scoring drought until lately.
Well, he scored 2 against Edmonton the other night when they went 2-0. He got an open net goal, as a matter of fact, that was one of them. But Gretzky is now 12 years in a row with 40 goals or more, 11 years in a row with 100 points or more. He's only played 942 games in the league. He's got over 2,000 points. It's just amazing what this guy does and continues to do. He tied Esposito for 3rd overall in goal scoring at 717. So he's looking to move up tonight if he can score a goal. And at this time, you'd have to say that he's just been all the difference in the world for this Los Angeles Cup since he's been traded here.
Also the guy behind probably the most expensive collect call in history with a Honus Wagner baseball card the other day, which is now in the proud possession of Wayne Gretzky. He's so important to this team. His number is part of the registration number of their 727 private airplane. It's LA 299. That's how important he is to the team. Well, you talk about the rest of the Kings, and when you talk about Gretzky, you got to talk about Mr. McSorley as well. It is the North Stars and the Kings. Welcome back to the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles, along with Lou Nanne and our producer-director Tom Mee. This is Doug McLeod, and set to go with this 3rd from the last game of the regular season.
Looking at the goaltenders for tonight, in the nets for the North Stars, John Casey, who's got a 2019 record, 20 wins, 19 losses. And for Los Angeles, Kelly Arudi with 25 wins. And the Los Angeles Kings have 2 goaltenders for the first time in their history with over 20 wins each. Kelly Arudi and Daniel Berthiaume.
Former North Star, and the interesting thing is that Rudy, who posted his 3rd shutout of the season against Edmonton Tuesday, is now getting the starting nod, and they've broken up their rotation basically coming into it. Your referee is Ron Hogarth. Ryan Bozak and Shane Heyer are the linesmen, and we're just about set to go with the Stars and the LA Kings. Some other scores we're particularly interested in the 3rd. Chicago is leading Toronto by a score of 3-1. St. Louis is leading the Islanders 1-0. Scores of consequence in the Norris Division tonight. Of course, we'll keep you up to date on those and all the others as the game goes along. Not in the lineup tonight for the North Stars, Neil Broughton, who's been sidelined with a flu. Kurt Giles, who's been pestered with that knee a little bit. Gaetan Duchesne. Let's see, also out of the lineup is Chris Dahlquist. They're all back in the Twin Cities, and chance to get Rob Zettler back in the lineup and get some game action here late in the season.
Well, you're looking at Bobby Smith, and Bobby has really developed into a fine defensive center as well as the top center, getting face-offs and good offensively. He's a fellow that the North Stars are looking forward to in the playoffs to give him some kind of leadership. He's been through so many playoff years in his National Hockey League career and should be a big factor for them in the playoffs against what it looks like to be Chicago at this time.
Here comes Bobby Smith now for the North Stars, but that hit traffic and popped out. Kings have won 3 straight games after their back-to-back victories against Edmonton, one of which resulted in the suspension of Calgary game rather in there, resulted in the suspension against Coach Tom Webster. Now here come the Los Angeles Kings, and a backhand shot by Tony Granato wide. Of course, he's a force whenever he's on the ice as well. As this sails into the Kings zone, it's icing on the North Stars, 56 seconds into the game.
That's right. Tony Granato came over to the Los Angeles Kings last year along with Thomas Sandstrom for Bernie Nichols. At first, everybody thought the New York Rangers really robbed Los Angeles, but when you look at it, even last year, even though Nichols had a great year and he outscored both these guys, they gave Gretzky the type of wings he needs. People who can throw the puck around and skate. And this year, they've developed and blossomed together. Granato with 29 goals and Sandstrom with 44. And that means that both of them now have got more goals than Bernie Nichols has in the New York Rangers. And definitely the big reasons why you see Los Angeles in first place in the Smythe division, looking for the first division championship ever.
You saw on the Kings bench a couple of former college coaches, Cap Rader and Rick Wilson, who are running the show tonight while Tom Webster begins serving the suspension handed out by the National Hockey League. Doug Smale for the North Star. Puck is loose. McSorley with a punch at it. No score in the early going at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles. Luc Robitaille to pull it out of the corner now for Los Angeles. Wheels back. Robitaille's shot deflected by Sean Chambers. Very quiet building here tonight, but they've been getting huge crowds, sellouts all the way. McSorley's shot deflected along. Out of the corner, punched in from the point by Tim Waters. And the centering pass by Dave Taylor didn't go. Now McSorley couldn't keep it in. Doug Smale out for the North Stars. Gavin shovels it in. Swept ahead by Kelly Rudy. Kings only had a couple of goals in the 2-0 win against Edmonton the other night. It was Rudy between them that really did the job, and he took the hard one in one of his knees. Here's Modano now for the North Stars. Swinging the center, prop out of the corner, slapped by Rudy. Dave Gagne. Talk with Dave Gagne later on tonight. Also have a feature package on outstanding number 15 of the North Stars, Mike Modano. Kings slide it back, but here comes Modano over the line. Drop pass too far for Prop. Gagne tipped it. It hit the skate of Jim Johnson. Gagne fires, drizzles toward the net, and it's tapped away by Rudy. Angle pass to neutralize, picked up by the Kings. Almost the break for Steve Kasper, but not quite. Now the Stars come out. Neil Wilkinson ahead for Berezan. Stars are changing as Berezan fires it off the end boards. Rudy slapping it the other way. Rob Blake with a check. Here comes Basil McRae into the corner. McRae behind the net against Brian Benning. Tapped up the wing boards. A shovel back by Zettler. Puck springing behind the net. Shane Churla bumped with Benning as they went behind the net. And we'll have a stoppage of play. 3:08 into the scoreless first period in Los Angeles.
You're taking a look at Bob Gainey. Bob himself in very good shape. Doug, today after practice, he and Bob Clark ran back to the hotel rather than take the bus. They want to get their daily jog in. And Clark gets a little concerned when he runs with Gainey with those long legs. He said, Louis, he can run forever. So big, strong, and powerful. Continues to look after his body.
Well, that's a job requirement if you're going to coach or be GM in the league, isn't it? You got to be able to move fast. That's part of the requirement. Puck fired into the Los Angeles zone. Rudy behind the net. There's no score. We played 3 minutes and 15 seconds of the first period. And mercy, it's quiet in here. I felt like we're in a studio for a minute. Puck sails behind John Tonelli. It felt like we were in Edmonton for a minute is what it felt like. Brian Benning turns it ahead. Now Rob Blake. Kind of hard to get into the game when it's this quiet. Benning.
This crowd really got lively in the third period the other night against Edmonton, though.
It did.
Rudy, as you said, made some great saves to keep Los Angeles ahead of them and finally got the shutout. He was sensational.
Tonelli's pass broken up by Mark Tenorti against the sweep-checking Kasper. Here's Rob Zettler. 4 minutes into a scoreless first period. Stars changing as Zettler drills it down. Now Smith, Bellows, and Dahlin come on. Flynn and Chambers working on it. I think after all this time, we're finally squared away on Ulf Dahlin's name. He says the correct way to pronounce it is Dalian. He wants it pronounced Dahlin. I'm happy to accommodate. In the left corner in the North Star zone, here's Bobby Smith. And they'll freeze it up there. 15:34 to go in the first. No score in the game. We'll be right back to Los Angeles.
You're looking at linesman Ryan Bozak, and he's wearing a helmet, and McLeod says it doesn't look like it's his. It's not. Yeah. He got cut the other night in the Edmonton game for 11 stitches. He had to leave the game, and they finished with just the referee McCreary and one linesman because Bozak was hurt and had to be attended to. So tonight he's put on a helmet. He's been with a helmet forever in his NHL career, but he's got a helmet on tonight for the first time.
Whoever it may be, it's protecting his head.
And his eyes.
And
it seems like it's down over his eyes.
That's some newspaper up there. 4.5 into his quiet, scoreless first period here in Los Angeles. Here's Bobby Smith for the North Stars. Away from Tony Granato. Now, number 22, Ulf Dahlin. Here's Bobby Smith. Checked by McSorley. Bellows wheels in. On the inboards in the LA zone. How much would the Stars like to nail the first goal in this building here tonight? Gretzky out to neutral ice. Tried to spring one for Thomas Sandstrom. Turned back by the Stars, just offside as it got to Brian Bellows of the North Stars.
Los Angeles Kings are looking for their 34th sellout here tonight. They've just been on a tremendous streak. They've never had this many sellouts in the season. Edmonton, they had 33. Tonight they says all the tickets should be gone, so it should be 34. And it's really amazing because when you look down around the circle, those seats closest to the ice, they sell those to the celebrities a lot, and those tickets are priced at $200 each.
Oh, man.
The first row along the boards, $200, and their Senate seats, which are the middle sections, go for $65. So their house here is pretty high. They get a good gate.
All it takes is money. Just over 5 minutes into the first, no score. Perry Berezan for the North Stars pops it in. There's Kelly Rudy. Posted his third shutout of the season against Edmonton on Tuesday, stopping 33 Oilers shots. Jim Johnson for the Stars for Basil McRae. Turn back. Fired into the zone by Mike Donnelly. Here's Jim Johnson. Ward passes turned back in by Donnelly. Checked by Berezan. The center turned back by McRae. Here comes Shane Sherlin now for the North Stars. There's no score in the game early on. Marty McSorley there with McRae. And sent McSorley down. Dug out of the corner by Jim Thompson. Up and away from McRae. It bounded clear of John McIntyre. And here is Los Angeles Tim Waters. Out to neutral ice. Donnelly. Ahead they go for Jim Thompson. Decked and into the North Star zone. Neil Wilkinson rips it ahead for Basil McRae. Away from Robitaille. Turned back. Now Robitaille over the line. Swings it wide. Shot right on and a save by Casey. One-time drive by Larry Robinson, but no. Elik down in the corner. Now the shot by Robitaille right through the lip of the goal crease again and out to neutral ice. Here's Steve Duchesne, number 28. Larry Robinson for the Kings. They bound. Here comes Elik. He's had a hot hand lately. His shot feathered away by Casey. 13.5 to go in a scoreless first period. Check in the corner by Mark Bureau wearing number 11. They'll pile it up there and freeze it up. No score in the game. 13:21 to go in the first period. KMSP Television has purchased the broadcast rights of the North Stars hockey games solely for the entertainment of our audience. No broadcast, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this copyrighted telecast are permitted without written authority of the Minnesota North Stars and KMSP Television. With Lou Nanny, Doug McLeod at the Forum in Los Angeles. No score in the game. 13:21 to go in the first period. Toronto and Chicago now tied 3 apiece. The Leafs have nailed a couple more here in the third period. The Blues leading the Islanders 3-0 in the third. Calgary leading Edmonton 4-0 in the second in the game of interest for the folks out here. No score in this one. Here's Ulf Dahlin for the North Stars. Barry Robinson on him. The puck loose. And will roll up for Brian Bellows. Snaps it away from Gretzky. Barry Robinson. Out of the corner, Bobby Smith. Dahlin wants that puck. Smith got it to him. Ulf Dahlin in the circle, couldn't turn in then against Steve Duchesne. Now slipped clear by Tony Granato, and they slide it out to neutral ice. Wayne Gretzky on the puck, possible 2-on-1. It'll be 2-on-2 as Bellows comes back, tapped in for Granato. Center broken up there. And out comes Brian Bellows. Stars come to center as Bellows crosses the line. Waiting for a change. The puck turned back by Steve Duchesne. Modano had it a moment. Now Duchesne has it back for Los Angeles. Tonelli. Now Gretzky over the line for Los Angeles. Feathers it over to Brian Benning. And that sails up as a souvenir down over the glass behind John Casey.
Well, the North Stars did a great job of back checking. The Los Angeles Kings like to get the puck out to center and get Gretzky and another forward getting the opposition caught on the 2-on-1 break. That's what it looked like was happening. All of a sudden, both Brian Bellows and Ulf Dahlin came back, and it was a good thing both came back because the third man in the play was a defenseman. They always like to bring that defenseman late. He'll be third or fourth man in. One time it was Duchesne, and this last time Brian Benning. The North Stars have to be aware of the late man coming up ice. We could already see, Doug, what the matchups look like they're going to be. The Kings want to have Gretzky's line against Bob Smith's line, and to put the checking line, always have Tonelli out on the ice against Dave Gagne's line. Tonelli and Casper doing the majority of the checking for this club over the year, and they're out against the North Stars' top scoring line here with Gagne, Modano, and Propp.
Gagne and Casper struggling for the face-off. Now Chambers behind the net. Went past Brian Glenn. Gagne will pick it up deep. Stars keeping a guy back now, and they don't get burned in their zone. Now Gagne comes out. Through, Chambers reaching, fencing with Brian Benning as they go to the corner. Bob Kudelski there, and it slides to neutral ice. Brian Glenn from Minnesota. 11:43 to go. Scoreless first period in Los Angeles. Modano pumps one on, and Rudy deflects. Wait. Bumping, puck sailing away. Brian Glenn in hot pursuit. That long stride of his, he gets there pretty fast. Pops it back into the Kings zone. Here's Brian Benning. Wrong side of the line where they dumped it in, so that'll ice it with 11:27 to go in the first period. No score. The Stars lost their only appearance here earlier on this season, 5-2 back on October 17th, and then won an overtime game on New Year's Eve at Met Center.
The North Stars coming out of their own zone may be able to come out more effectively if they reverse the puck against the flow. Los Angeles likes to swarm after the puck. Many times you'll see them with 3 forecheckers in one corner. So the North Stars, if they get aware quickly and get the defenseman to split off in the corner, or even another wing get back deep and fired back against the flow, they'll be able to come out easily. The Kings really use a swarming attack more so than any team in this division.
Pumped in by McSorley and out of a crowd. 11:21 to go in the first. There's no score in the game. And we'll sail out. I want to say hello to all our North Star fans, and I know there are lots of them because we hear from them quite a bit over in the Crookston area out in western Minnesota, particularly to Fred Miller. Son Paul Miller, former North Star draft choice, was in the University of Minnesota program for a while and then wound up in St. Cloud State. Had a nice chat with him before the game. He's out here now with the Simplot Corporation. So Fred, want to say hello to you. He's looking pretty healthy out here, I must say. 11:18 to go in the first period, and there is no score. Berezan in for the face-off for Minnesota against John McIntyre of the Los Angeles Kings, just a step inside the North Star zone.
This line has got some winning goals for the Los Angeles Kings, particularly Mike Donnelly got 3 in the last month.
Now working in McIntyre, taken down by Berezan behind the net, and McIntyre may be hurt, and now indeed we'll stop play and take a look at it here as referee Ron Hogarth saw that right away. Now Basil McRae and Neil Wilkinson are exchanging colorful remarks with a couple of the Kings players.
On the ice is John McIntyre. He's a big, strong fellow that came over from the Leafs. Berezan takes him into the boards. He loses his balance here, and you see him, he really can't stop himself going right in, and Berezan on his back hits his shoulder, his left shoulder, and that's the way you separate him quite easily. He's up on his knees now, but Berezan doing a job of checking, just gets tangled up with him, and because of the weight and going towards the boards, Berezan rode him into the boards. A clean play, but just unfortunate, and McIntyre right now being attended to by the Kings trainer.
But taking some of that in the face too, is he?
McIntyre came over for Mike Krushelinski, who's now with the Maple Leafs, and he was a first-round draft choice of the Leafs, and they might have given up on this kid a little too quickly. He's only 20 years old. He's a real competitive kid.
So as I look at McIntyre, we'll look at this with 11:08 to go and a scoreless first in Los Angeles. Right now, and I mean this minute, is the time to purchase your 1991-92 North Star season tickets, because right now the Stars have some great deals for season ticket holders. We've been talking about them, but in case you've been thinking about it, now's the time to act. With a great deal like this, you get an extra season ticket of equal value free for every 2 season tickets you purchase. And I mean, you can purchase as many season tickets as you want, and every 2 of them give you another one free. Plus, you get tickets to the last game of the season against Chicago and lots more. So don't wait. Call a North Star salesperson at 853-9420 or 1-800-53-STARS.
You also get playoff priority, and the Hawks have just jumped out in front 4-3, and I'm certain it's going to be against Chicago, Doug.
You know, secretly, well, not secretly, I think everybody hopes that, too. It's the team you love to hate, the Blackhawks. It's the team everybody likes to go watch play.
Well, you know, we're hoping that we do the same thing they did to us in '82 when the North Stars had 96 points. I think the Hawks had 54, and they upset us in the first round of the playoffs in overtime, and we're hoping we could pay that one back.
Very happy to return the favor. Of course, it was just a thrilling 7-game series last year against the Blackhawks in the playoffs. We'll see. 4-3 Hawks now, as Louis told you, in the third. Blues still leading the Islanders 3-0 in the third period. Toronto picked a heck of a time to get hot, didn't it? After they'd mathematically been eliminated for the playoff. Jim Johnson's shot deflected by Kelly Rudy, and McSorley brings the Kings back to center. Here's Gretzky. Stood up and off it by Tenorti. Nobody ever really hits Gretzky. They sort of line up on him and move him away.
It's not because a lot of people wouldn't like to. He's so good on the skates. His agility is outstanding, and he's got great perception of where everybody is.
Payback time would be something. Here's a drive by Gagne through a screen. Tenorti to the corner now, working over there with number 21, Tony Granato. And it's pulled out by Granato. Kings come away. Larry Robinson and Gretzky. Gretzky cutting in and scores. Wayne Gretzky. As the Kings take the early lead. Gretzky had both the goals, one of them an empty netter against Edmonton the other day, breaking a 10-game goal-scoring drought. He's got another one here tonight. Los Angeles halfway through the first leads 1-0.
He not only has got another one, he has just moved past Esposito with his 718th goal. It looks like he loses the puck here as he comes on Zettler. He loses momentarily. That catches Zettler. He goes reaching for it, misses it, and with a great move as he gets to Casey, goes back to his forehand at the last second, and Gretzky again does it like only Gretzky can, putting the Los Angeles Kings up 1-0 on an outstanding individual effort.
718 now for his career. Now he moves in on a former Los Angeles King named Marcel Dion, who is second with 731. Gordie Howe has 801. Nothing safe when 99 is around, and that's number 41 in the year for Wayne Gretzky. At 10:31 of the first period, it is 1-0 Los Angeles. Now the Kings come back again. Pop back out of the zone. Robinson and Granato will get the assists. One nothing Los Angeles. Doug Smale for the North Stars, taken down as he turned by Taylor. Rudy to serve it up behind the net, and LA's Brian Benning will pick it up. 8:43 to go in the first. Kings lead by 1. Ryan Glynn, or I'm sorry, Neil Wilkinson from Minnesota. Now Shane Sherlock crossing with Berezan. Drive goes high and wide. Berezan behind the net. Off the boards and out. Robitaille to neutral for Los Angeles, checked off it. Now the Kings open the right side for Jim Thompson. Possible 2-on-1 to the right, no. They go to the corner boards, and the Stars will shovel it. Get out of the zone. Now Shane Sherlock ahead to neutral. Basil McRae. Sherlock. Shot deflected by Rudy. Berezan sailing down there to bump with Jim Thompson. Puck squirts free. Basil McRae is there. Went to the backhand. Pulled free by Mike Donnelly. That slid too far for McIntyre. And a horse race. There's no icing here. Sherlock down on the corner now for Minnesota. Behind the net for Rob Zettler. Gonna turn it away from Mike Donnelly. Smacked by Los Angeles John McIntyre. Got a good bunch of Donnelly too. Tenorti working on Donnelly in the corner. Berezan floating in. Number 17 is Jim Thompson for Los Angeles. Berezan off the boards. McRae. Stars need a change here pretty soon as it comes out to neutral, and now they'll take it. Or start to anyway. Puck turned ahead by Thompson, but now Rob Zettler retrieves for Tenorti. Basil McRae. McSorley back in his own zone. And the Stars line change complete. Smith, Bellows, and Dahlin. With Chambers and Glenn. That's the North Star quintet. Sean Chambers back in his own zone. McSorley turned back out by Chambers. Kings had to let it go anyway. 1-0 Los Angeles on Gretzky's 41st. Bellows with a driving check down on the corner on Waters. Puck loose, a drive by Chambers off traffic. Here's Ulf Dahlin to the corner. Now Bellows took a tap at it. Pulled out by Wayne Gretzky. 2-on-2. The Kings are at center. Here is Gretzky. With Kudelski, now Waters. Kudelski up the left boards. Waters at the point for Los Angeles. Screen save by Casey. Turned back now by Bobby Smith. Bodies all over the place. Puck under there somewhere down in the left corner. We can't see it any better than you can. Swept by Dahlin. Popped in by Waters. Inside 6.5 to go in the first period. 1-0 Los Angeles. Ulf Dahlin at center now for the North Stars. Pops that one to the glove of Rudy as the Stars change. Wilkinson and Johnson with Prop, Gagne, and Madonna. Wilkinson for the North Stars behind his net. Too far for Prop, and as that sails into the Kings zone and is touched by Blake, it's icing on the North Stars. 5:52 to go in the first period, and it was career goal number 718 by Wayne Gretzky that makes it the Kings 1, the North Stars nothing.
Well, the pace picked up a little bit because it got a little more physical. That's something the North Stars are going to have to do more of. Take the body in Los Angeles. Don't let, especially the wings and Wayne Gretzky, get back into play so quickly. They've got to eliminate people by taking them out with checks.
Brian Benning for the Kings fires one on to John Casey. It's 1-0 Los Angeles with 5:45 to go in the first period. Gagne. We'll visit with and look at Dave Gagne more later in our telecast tonight. Here is Gagne, number 15, to the line, kept in by Benning. Rob Blake for Los Angeles, and this rolls behind the net. Casper, number 11, after it. Checked off it by Wilkinson, and the puck comes out to neutral. Now Prop, open it up for Gagne, right on the seam. Gagne turning, feathers it for Prop, backhand shot, and he scores. Brian Prop nails his 25th of the year and ties the game for the North Stars. It's 1-1.
What a great effort by Brian Prop. Gagne came down, he lost the puck momentarily, but he made a super pass across, and Brian Prop, watch him have to fight off a check here. The pass is coming across, and Prop's being checked. He fights off the check, gets a backhand away, even though he's being grabbed by Granato, and he gets a backhander to tie this game up. A good play by Gagne, gets control of the puck, loses it just for a second, then gets it across. Now watch right here. Granato had Prop all tied up. He broke free and just got that backhander away and tied this game.
Prop's 25th from Gagne at 14:43 of the first period. Now it's a 1-1 game. Kings out shooting the North Stars 8-4 in shots on goal. Bounding puck in the North Stars zone. Punched back in by Stu Gavin. Madonna will get the other assist on that goal at 14:43 of the first period. It's all evened up here inside 5 minutes to go in period 1. The North Stars won and the Kings won. That's the North Stars' next home game and last home game of the regular season, Saturday night against guess who? The Chicago Blackhawks. You can charge your tickets by phone at 989-5151 or stop by the North Star ticket office. And remember, that night is poster night at Met Center. Everybody attending the game gets a free North Stars team poster courtesy of Pillsbury.
Pillsbury's even got the doughboy in there. It's a great shot. People are going to like it. In the penalty box right now for Los Angeles, Todd Ellick. He closed his hand on the puck. He's got a penalty. North Stars going on the power play. First power play of the evening. Tied at 1 with 4:52 to go here in the first period.
This power play we're talking about a couple of broadcasts ago has gone from being one of the worst percentage-wise in the league to 9th best now. 20.2% and about 5 or 6 points better than that in recent games since the All-Star break, about 8 points better.
That's why the North Stars have moved up. Their specialty teams are much improved. They were 21st in penalty killing, 18th in power play, and they're way up now in 9th and 14th.
Now Madonna for Bellows right through the front door. Here is Tenorti. First power play of the night for the North Stars. Kings hold opponents to about 16%. Gagne there. Rudy just got a piece of it. And the Kings whistle it away. And the North Stars really pressing. And now Gagne and McSorley getting into it a little bit coming out of the zone.
Great give and go with Prop and Gagne to get Gagne free in front, but Rudy makes a save.
Madonna's pass hit Gagne on the skate. Bellows back now for Mark Tenorti. Popped at neutral by McIntyre. Bellows has to hold on to get a couple of guys back on side. Now Tenorti in his own zone. 1 minute to go. 1:01 rather in the North Star power play. 3:53 to go in a 1-1 first period. Reminder, our next cable telecast of North Stars hockey will be Saturday night at home against the Chicago Blackhawks on Midwest Sports Channel. Hope you'll join Dick Bremer and me for that broadcast as we close out the home season. Much prefer to see you at Met Center, but if you're out state and can't make it in, we'll have it for you on Midwest Sports Channel.
North Star forwards have got to get back into play in this power play. They're standing flat-footed. Los Angeles has a very aggressive penalty kill team. They go at the puck area continually. If you're standing flat-footed, you're not going to have any momentum going. When you receive that pass, they're going to be on you. You've got to keep your own feet moving, and especially when the puck comes back into your own zone, you can't afford to have more than one guy over the red line to break up and spread apart that defense. The other two people have got to come back on your side of the red line so they're in position to accept the pass.
First intermission, Terry Crisp will be our guest, and we'll also have a feature on Dave Gagne. It's a little something for everybody tonight. Thanks for staying up late with us here on Receptive Channel 9 and across the upper Midwest. 3:37 to go in the first. 1-1 game, 45 seconds remaining on the North Stars' first power play of the night. Kelly Rudy to the corner for Los Angeles. Kudelski was over after it. Now in the corner, they'll pop it away as John McIntyre jabbed it out to neutral. Chambers for Bobby Smith. 3:19 left in a 1-1 first. Great backhander goal by Brian Propp. Set up a strong skating and puck handling by Gagne. Wayne Gretzky has the marker for Los Angeles. Now Dahlin and Smith down in the corner. 10 seconds in the power play as they muck along the end boards in the Los Angeles zone. Perry Berezan swings it away. Chambers with 5 on the power play. Shoots one. Saved by Rudy. And it was just whacked away from Dahlin at the last moment as he was right there for the rebound. That's the end of the power play. And the Kings are now at full strength. And now we're going to have a Kings power play.
That's not a good penalty Berezan took there. It was really a needless play. The puck was already thrown in. Berezan was back checking and he just pulls the man down. Granato away from the play. He's definitely going to get a penalty, and the Kings now get the opportunity. You'll see whenever the puck is thrown away and you're away from the play, there's no need to take a man down. When you take a man down, when he's out of the play, right as you see right there, when Berezan pulls Granato down, that's not a very strong penalty, and it really can cost you. Got to stay away from those kind of things.
The Kings come into this game with the 5th best power play in the league, and it's just a shade under 21%. And it's an interesting turnabout for them because last year, you think of Los Angeles in recent years, you certainly don't think so much about defense. You think about 99 and all the rest of them poured in the goals, but they had the 17th power play in the league last year. It was certainly not a strong part of their game, but now it's one of the things that's come together for Los Angeles this year. Special teams, defense, and of course number 99 out there.
And they've got some depth to it because now they can afford to put Robitaille, who's the leading left wing scorer for the last couple seasons, on the second unit.
Power play begins for the Kings as Berezan goes at 17-16 for the North Stars for holding.
They've come up with two things. One, they've got the extra forwards.
Here comes Smale. And it'll go back to neutral.
And the other is they got a youngster, Rob Blake, on defense who can really shoot the puck. So that gives them 2 point men. Duchesne on one side, on one unit, and Blake on the other, where they've got people that are very effective controlling the play from the blue line.
And Blake's got a good shot, and he can get it off, too. That's offside with a minute 26 to go in the Kings power play.
And the Kings are a little upset about that, and they should be, because the puck never did cross the blue line. It never came into the zone, but the linesman, Shane Heyer, was behind the play. He thought it came across the blue line. But it gives the North Stars an opportunity to change penalty killers. And at the same time, Los Angeles gets to rest a fellow like Gretzky.
Look at young Mark Bureau, one of the recent acquisitions with the North Stars, who's certainly stepped on and seen plenty of ice time since he came here. Another find out of the International League. 2:10 to go in the first. 1-1 game with a minute 26 to go in the holding penalty to Perry Berezan. Wayne Gretzky and Brian Propp on the goals. Chicago still leading Toronto 4-3 in the third. Drive by Benning, misfired to the right. Blues have defeated the Islanders. Now that game is over, 3-0. Flames over the Oilers 4-3 in the second. Now the puck in the left corner in the North Star zone with a minute to go, and the Kings man advantage. It drizzled away, but a poke by Brian Benning kept it alive. Robitaille, checked by Zettler. Taylor now swings it over to the right side. Comes back to Brian Benning. Shoots in a screen. Save by Casey. With 48 seconds to go and the Kings man advantage.
You wonder why the Kings are so dangerous. They've got 8 people that have scored more than 20 goals. First time ever in their history. They're the second highest goal scoring team in the league also. They got 331 goals scored. And right now the only team ahead of them, Pittsburgh, with 335. So they've got a good defense. They're third against in goals against, third highest in goal scoring. And that really made for the success that they're having this year. You know, when you look at them, they got 100 points, and they've only done that one other time in their history.
Boy,
the super season.
You're talking about Pittsburgh, Louis. What a strong end of the season they had. They're won the division now. We're right in the playoffs.
That trade seemed to make them getting Ronnie Francis, Ulf Samuelsson, and Grant Jennings from Hartford just at the trading deadline. They've been on a streak since then.
Why they ever
really give them some depth. When Ronnie Francis is your number 2 centerman, you know you've got some.
You've got some depth. Yeah, that's right. Now from the point, 45 seconds to go in the Kings power play. McSorley on the wing boards. Thompson up to the point, and it popped away from McSorley. Steve Duchesne for the Kings. And McSorley will pick it up at his own blue line. 28 seconds, and the North Stars will be at full strength. Chopped right along the line by John Tonelli. Cleared out of the zone now by Smale. And this skitters back down into the Los Angeles zone.
Good job done by the North Stars thus far, not giving Los Angeles that man in the slot area wide open for a shot. They're taking that away from them thus far.
Last minute of play of the first period of a 1-1 game. Wayne Gretzky on the power play. Always just dangling around out there. Now throws it to the slot, but no. McSorley as the power play expires. North Stars at full strength for Gretzky. Out of the corner against Jim Johnson. And Johnson will ride it out to neutral. Hacked at by Tonelli. Stars over the line, offside with 31 seconds to go in the first period.
Well, the Stars controlling the play real well, and then most of all keeping Gretzky away from controlling the puck behind the net. He likes to do that, and when he does that, it seems that your defense and your even defensive forwards collapse around the net, leaves the points wide open, and they like to sneak into that shooting area 35 feet out. And you know Gretzky, he gets him the puck. But this time the Stars got on Gretzky real quick. He wasn't able to get behind the net and set up, and because of that, LA really didn't have any good scoring chances on that man advantage.
Barry Robinson for the Los Angeles Kings. Again, both teams are now at full strength. 21 seconds to go in a 1-1 first period. Zettler with a check. Trying to pop it away from Donnelly. At neutral, Rob Zettler retrieves for the Stars. Back for Tenorti in his own zone. Tenorti and Zettler with 7 seconds to go in the period. They catch with it here. Tenorti tried to whack it down, but instead it hit Bob Kudelski, who fires it, and that is the end of the first period, with no additional damage done by either team. Kelly Hrudey with 1 against in that period for Los Angeles. John Casey with 1 against in that period for the North Stars. And at the end of the first period, things are all tied up. And a reminder to enjoy the game with Domino's Pizza. Just call your local Domino's store now, and you'll have a hot, fresh Domino's Pizza delivered to your door in 30 minutes. And wouldn't a Domino's Pizza taste great? Right now, 20 minutes in the book at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles, and on our Phoenix scoreboard, it's the North Stars 1 and the Kings 1. $105.3 Stars. We'll get you all squared away for a season of great NHL action. It is the North Stars 1 and the Los Angeles Kings 1, and we are underway with the second period. Now the puck comes back into the Los Angeles zone, and we'll start out again. Brock back into the Minnesota end. Here is Tenorti. Madonna fell as he turned. Here's a turning drive by Kudelski. They scatter to the left side. Tenorti jumping it there. Donnelly working, Tonelli rather working. Now turned away by the Stars. Gagne at neutral ice. Launched ahead behind Madonna. Stars changing behind the play. Center up for grabs. A pop at it by Prop, but it didn't go, and going to stop the play. And somebody play it with a hand? Apparently so.
They called it a hand pass. Unfortunately for the North Stars, the first lead pass across to Madonna was bouncing. He had enough speed to be by the LA defenseman. When he finally did get it across, the puck, as you see here, it'll be bouncing. Bounces up in the air. and eventually right there with a hand pass from Gagne over to Prop. And you can't pass the puck with your hand when you get outside of your own defensive zone, so the whistle blows. They're allowing it in your own defensive zone now because too often when a man would lose a stick, he just passed with his hand to draw the whistle call and get a stick. Now they know you can't use that as a ploy to get a delay of the game in your own defensive zone, so they allow you to pass it in there.
47 seconds into the second period, 1-1 game. Prop and Gretzky with the goals in this one so far. Stars home for the big regular season finale. Poster night on Saturday night against the Chicago Blackhawks. Bellows fires one wide. What a great playoff tune-up that one will be. And then the season finale here on Channel 9 Sunday night at St. Louis. And that should be a sizzler too. Great hockey. We got it all on TV for you. We'll see you at Met Center on Saturday night. Popped out to neutral, and there's the Los Angeles Kings' Thomas Sandstrom. Over the line, Granato. Dropped it back, Gretzky. Through by Sandstrom, and too far as Rob Blake will have to chase it back into his own end now for Los Angeles. Now 90 seconds into the 1-1 second period. Gavin checked off it by Rob Blake. Smack as Jim Johnson turns and plants the check that opens the puck. And Tallinn will fire it back in again. The victim, Thomas Sandstrom. Now back into the Los Angeles zone. Smale behind the net for Minnesota. Kicks it to the hash mark, and the drive is right on to Rudy. You made a big save. Now Chambers shoots screen, and Rudy save. Smale now. Two excellent ones through traffic for the North Stars, and Kelly Rudy was there. Now they go to the left side. Bureau can't wrestle in for it, and it comes out for Sean Chambers at the checkered line.
Mark Perreault just shaking his head. He had that point-blank shot that Rudy made the save on, and then Chambers got the second one. Two good chances for the North Stars, catching Gretzky's line out there on two line shifts. They really were tired, and they couldn't play very well defensively. North Stars had those two chances.
Ryan Glenn for Minnesota. 2.5 into the second period, still 1-1. Chambers ahead. Bounding puck, Basil McRae, popped away by McSorley. McRae comes up with it in the right circle. Down Charlotte, hit him in the skate, backhand shot, saved by Rudy. Shane Sherla lifted a pesky-looking shot that Rudy had to bat away. Back they come through neutral ice. Drive goes right through the goal crease, kept in by Marty McSorley. He'll fire it down to the right corner.
They're wondering why everybody's cheering. They just put a score up on the board. Edmonton is tied count at 4-4.
A 4-4 in the third period. I was looking around to see what it was. They've got scores for all the teams way up in the rafters here. So it's not exactly a line of sight, but everybody out here has been watching that particular little square as much as they have anything else.
Now they're cheering for the Kings to get going because they know the Kings, with a win here tonight by the Kings and a loss by Calgary, the Kings would have their first ever divisional title.
Tenorti puts that one in. 16.5 to go in a 1-1 first period. A long breakout pass for McIntyre didn't go as McIntyre was corkscrewed off it. Now the Stars come back out again. Johnson out too far for Gagne. Off the boards for Mike Donnelly. Open with a puck comes McIntyre. A shot saved by Casey on a dangerous rising shot that popped up about waist high. 16:09 to go in the second period. North Stars 1 and the Kings 1.
The Kings get a chance here by Jim Thompson on the far side. The pass goes across to McIntyre, and McIntyre just lays it back out to Thompson. He puts a shot in from high up, but an easy save for Casey. Score remains 1-1. 16:09 to go here in the second. The North Stars and the Kings. And the North Stars playing a very solid game thus far, not really giving the Kings the kind of chances they've been accustomed to this season. With 8 20-goal scorers and scoring 331 goals here.
Now that Hawks-Leafs score is a final. It is Chicago 5 and Toronto 3. Final score at Chicago Stadium tonight. So that thing's finally over. And again, the Blues beat the Islanders 3-0. Those are both final scores. So with 2 games each left in the season, still 3 points separate the two. Madonna drops it back for Gagne, and it hit a crowd and came right in onto Rudy. Still up on the doorstep, a punch by Gagne, couldn't go. All kinds of traffic in front of Kelly Rudy. Madonna to the corner. Prop, rolling puck. Here's Gagne in the right side. Stuttering down by John Tonelli. He was not checked, just lost his balance. Now Steve Duchesne working in the corner for Los Angeles. Modano floating over there. Gagne is checked by Casper. Now Modano in traffic. Here's Wilkinson with a drive save. Rebound. Turned out by Bob Kudelski. Kings come to center. Gagne taken down behind the play by Larry Robinson and then got him right back. Now they sail one of the North Stars. Tonelli. Now they pile up there. Tonelli lost his helmet. Gagne's about had it here, and he comes up this time on Kudelski. And they've been trading it a little bit here. And apparently that will be all of that. We've played 5 minutes, 3 seconds of the second period. It's still the North Stars won and the Kings won.
You see the Kings get involved in a physical play. They're no strangers to it. They're the second leading team in the league getting penalties. 28 minutes a game they're averaging. Number 1 in the league, Chicago. Number 3, Calgary. Many times it goes hand in hand. The most penalized team also lead the league. They got to be able to kill penalties, but they play aggressively and they get chances.
Shot of the Kings bench again. Cap Raider and Rick Wilson. Kings head coach Tom Webster suspended by the league today for 4 games as a result of those little incidents against the Calgary Flames on Saturday. Now the puck in the North Star zone with 14:38 to go in the second period of a 1-1 game. Played behind the net by Thomas Sandstrom of the Kings. And up over the glass and down into a crowd. The Kings getting Kudelski back off a bruised ankle. He'd been out 7 or 8 games with that thing. And Jay Miller still hampered by a bruised shoulder. The North Stars, with the exception of the little knee that continues to bother Kurt Giles and a bout of the flu, I guess it was, for Neil Broughton, remarkably injury-free at this point in the year for the first time in quite a while.
Well, the North Stars thus far in this period certainly have had the edge in play and had by far the better chances. Had 3 good scoring chances thus far. Playing a solid game and got to continue to do that. Don't give this high-scoring machine any opportunities. Check him close, frustrate him, and that's what the Stars have been doing thus far. And led by this line, Bobby Smith's line, whose job it is to stop Gretzky's line. They got caught once. They were out there. Smith's line had to get off because Gretzky stays out so long, and sure enough, Gretzky scores a goal.
And they nearly caught Gretzky's line out too long, as you mentioned earlier. Back out comes Brian Benning for Los Angeles, away to Tony Granato. Then around the check, poked by Glynn and broken up. Chambers to the line, kept in by Benning. Otto trying to play it behind the net, kept to the line, popped in on a slow, kind of a changeup by Rob Blake. Played out now by Chambers, back at the checkered line. Thomas Sandstrom rolls back to neutral ice. Now Marty McSorley. The double threes for Los Angeles. That went behind Sandstrom and into the North Star zone. Sean Chambers will pick it up. 12-10 Los Angeles. Shots on goal. Here is Chambers. They bat it down, and Tim Waters will slice one out to neutral ice. Kings chase. Dave Taylor to the corner. Centering, and a little one-time chipper by Ellick. Stu Gavin picks it up for the North Stars. Away to Bureau at neutral. Here comes the speedy Smail on a quick center for Gavin. And the Kings come out again. Dave Taylor for Los Angeles. They stack the line. Robitaille floating it down for Ellick, but no. And Bureau will pull it away. 1-1 game in the second. Doug Smail with Gavin. Now it is Johnson with a drive, hit a skate. Luc Robitaille behind the net for Los Angeles. Gavin closing in. Robitaille got it out to neutral. McSorley over the line for Ellick. Out Ellick behind the net for Los Angeles. Centered out by Kudelski. A drive hit Johnson and did not get on. Casey had already gone and would have been in position for the stop in any event. Now here is Bob Kudelski. McSorley and Smail along the high boards. McSorley fires one off the glove of Casey. Behind the net they go. Here's Perry Berezan for Minnesota. The North Stars come out. Berezan. Stars need a change, so he'll wind up back there with Sherlin McRae hustling off the bench to help. Berezan pulled down. Puck to neutral ice. Rob Zettler and Mark Tenorti go after it. Zettler takes the puck. Tenorti takes the on-rushing Donnelly. Now to neutral. Here is Basil McRae. Berezan. The deep slot and turned back out. by the Kings. Larry Robinson at neutral ice. Los Angeles with a puck. Donnelly almost offside. Tenorti picks it out of his slot. Mark Tenorti away for Basil McRae. Stars at neutral. Over the line, McRae. Berezan shoots one. A save by Rudy. Popped away to the corner by Larry Robertson. There is Steve Kasper, number 11 for Los Angeles. Donnelly on the far board. 9 minutes into it, 1-1 second period. And the Kings will go for a change. On stop here is Shane Sherlin. Too far for Berezan. Turned ahead by Rob Blake of the Kings. Stars need to complete a change, and now they do as Glenn floats that one. That was tipped coming through neutral, so they wave off icing and play goes on. Brian Benning away from behind his net. Kasper is there at neutral. Possible 2-on-1. Madonna will go to break that one up, though, and nothing came of it. Now Benning from the point for Los Angeles, and that sails up into the crowd. Stars won and the Kings won with 10.5 to go in the second.
Good up and down action there by both the Kings and the North Stars, but then the speed of Modano catches the Kings. It looked like the Kings had a 2-on-1 break. Modano able to come back with his great speed and ride Kasper off the puck. Puck got thrown over the glass, got a face-off outside the North Star zone. 10:28 to go here in the second period. Kings and the Stars tied at 1.
One of the things the Kings have been very happy with this year is that they have winning regular season records against all the other teams in the Smythe division. That's the first time that's happened since the present divisional alignment in '82. In fact, only 2 teams in the league have winning records for the season against the Kings: Boston and the New York Rangers. Not, of course, full division type seasons or series. Those are all 3-game non-divisional series. Puck in the North Star zone, pulled away by John Tonelli to the line. A drive by Benning. Back for Benning at the point. Whoa, and right to the goal crease, and it'll go in as Steve Kasper jumps on the garbage and pops it in as the puck just drizzled away. And it's 2-1 Los Angeles at exactly 10 minutes of the second.
Well, the puck was kept in, thrown around the glass. Casey comes out of his net. There were already 2 people behind, but I guess he thought he was going to get to it. Took a crazy hop. He gets caught behind the net. And that man there, Steve Kasper, all alone in front of the net. Look at this. He's got nothing but a wide open net to put it in. And that's not a good omen for the North Stars, because anytime he scored a goal, Kasper, the Kings have won the game. They've won 7 and tied 1. And right there you see Kasper all alone as Casey gets caught going behind. Try to recover, it was too late. And the puck is just left right on the doorstep for an opening for Kasper. It puts him out into a 2-1 lead.
That is Kasper's 9th goal and 25th point of the season at 10 minutes of the second period. Benning and Tonelli will get the assists on the goal to put the Kings up now by 1. That one goes off the pad of John Casey, and Jim Johnson will pull it away. Turned back by Waters. Stars get it out. All Dolan at his line. Kings punch it back in again. That was the 15th shot on goal of the game for the Kings. 15-11 now in shots.
And that was Casey's best save. It was a great chance by Granado, but Casey made the save.
Stars wheel back. Here's Bellows to shoot. Right on, and Rudy will hold on to that one. 9:12 to go in the second period. Now it's the Kings 2 and the North Stars 1. If you've even been thinking about North Star season tickets, stop thinking and take action right now. We've got a great deal for you right now. The Stars Advantage program includes free preferred parking, playoff seating priority, merchandise discounts, access to private clubs, so much more. And remember, you got an extra season ticket of equal value free for every 2 you purchase. It's a tremendous deal, so don't wait. Call the North Stars at 853-9420 or 1-800-53-STARS. With Lou Nanny, Doug McLeod in the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles. 9 minutes to go in the second period. Los Angeles 2 and the North Stars 1. Now Taylor, broken up on a little check by Bureau. Bellows back for Bureau, back for Bellows, back for Bureau. Steve Duchesne turned it free, and Ellick will slide it out to neutral ice. Here is Duchesne, crossing the line now for Los Angeles. Checked by Zettler, they go to the corner. Dave Taylor over for Los Angeles, puck pulled away by Zettler, and comes to neutral. Bureau got a splinter on it, went back and forth at the line, and so they'll stop it there with 8:27 to go in the second period. Los Angeles leading the North Stars 2-1.
You're looking at Bob Gainey right now as he goes over to talk to Brian Bellows. Bellows and Bureau had a good give and go there coming into the offensive zone. They went down on the Rudy. Bellows gave it to Bureau, back to Bellows, and then Bellows had the opportunity to shoot from the angle. When you got nothing to do with it, it's not wrong to put it on the net. He elected to give it back to Bureau. By this time, the LA Kings had got some help from their centerman Alec, and they just took the puck away. They had 3-on-2. Whenever you're down deep in that zone, you got nothing to do with it. Put it on the net, because your other man, your wingman, should be going for the net. He might get a rebound. At least he got a shot on net, maybe a chance to score. Don't just turn it over without really getting an opportunity.
Brian Glynn away now for Mark Guro. Guro over the line. Now Gavin. Centered. Guro was being checked and held off it by Tim Waters of the Kings. Guro right down on the goal crease, now behind Rudy, and there was Waters, number 5, camped there again. John Chambers. Now past Gavin, fencing there with McSorley, and Gavin got it back to neutral ice, but McSorley will turn it back in. Knocked down by Casey. Brian Glynn away for the North Stars. Here's Smale. And sails in as the Stars change. Picked up by Rob Blake, the Kings defenseman. Just over 7.5 to go in the second. 2-1 Los Angeles. Last game of the regular season at Met Center Saturday night, then the playoff. Sandstrom squirts through and hit the goal post. Casey went down, blocked the shot. Sandstrom clanged one off the metal, and back down come the North Stars. Berezan, a blast deflected off. Drops behind the net. Berezan there again. Loose puck in the Kings zone. Here's Berezan locked up with Sandstrom. In comes Basil McRae. The puck just sitting there as everybody tries to get a piece of wood on it. And finally turned out by Bob Kudelski of the Kings. And he'll let Rob Blake, the defenseman, set it up. And Kings will slow it down till they see what they like. Now out they come. Batted down at the Stars line by Jim Johnson. Thrown in by Benning of the Kings. Casey behind the net with 6:41 to go in the second. 2-1 Los Angeles. Go ahead goal by Steve Casper at 10 minutes of the second period. Berezan. Now the Kings' Steve Duchesne rips one up to the far boards. The give back will send it away. Sailed through everybody. There'll be no icing here. John Tonelli back there for Los Angeles, nothing doing. Tenorti now for Zettler. Rob Zettler, Tonelli hacking away on him. Here comes Bobby Smith. North Stars at neutral. Smith checked by Casper. Tenorti pulls it back and opens it wide for Zettler. For Smith. Into the Kings zone. And LA's Larry Robinson. And sailed through everybody. And as John Chambers touches the puck, it's icing on Los Angeles with 5:53 to go in the second period. Now it's LA 2 and the North Stars 1.
Sandstrom broke away from Berezan, and Wilkinson cuts to the net, makes a fake to the far side, comes back, but he couldn't make it quite good enough as Casey laying across the net. Didn't give him too much to shoot at. Sandstrom still got a backhand away, but it hit the pipe. A great move by Sandstrom, but not quite good enough. Casey played him right up high, stayed right there, and Sandstrom had to cut back, and he just didn't have enough time to get that shot around Casey into the net.
Tim Waters away for Los Angeles. 5:47 to go in the second period. Los Angeles 2, North Stars 1. Padano got it out of a crowd. Gagne ahead, prop reaching, but it was turned away by Robitaille. McSorley for LA. Here's Luc Robitaille. McSorley heading after it. A poke by Chambers. Drops in front of Ellick. Whoops, unattended. Here comes Robitaille on Casey. The shot, a score. Luc Robitaille as he went to the backhand and lifted it up to the back of the net. And Los Angeles makes it 3-1 on Robitaille's 44th goal of the year.
Actually, the Kings had a 2-0 break. Brian Glynn went to get the puck. He just overskated it. The puck's free all alone, and both Ellick and Robitaille were there. Robitaille picks it up, goes down and makes a good backhand move and scores a goal. The puck comes free right here, and watch, here comes Glynn. He just went to get it, overskated it, and all of a sudden it comes right free to Robitaille. He just puts it away, and the closest guy to him was Ellick. See that right there? That's when Glynn thought he had on his backhand, didn't quite get it. Robitaille did. He comes in all alone and beats Casey to give the Kings a 2-goal lead, 3-1.
So that ties Robitaille with Thomas Sandstrom now for the Kings' goal-scoring lead at 44. 14:36 of the second period, the time of the goal. And now icing on the North Stars. 5:10 to go in second. Los Angeles 3 and Minnesota 1.
Well, the Kings, even though they've only got 16 shots on net, the 13 to the North Stars, get 2 big breaks. One off the glass when Casey went behind the net, a freak bounce, all alone in front's Casper, he scores. And now a turnover in the North Star zone just by a defenseman overskating it, gives Robitaille a chance, he scores, and the Kings up 3-1. He gave an assist on the play, Doug. I don't know how.
Ellick and McSorley got points on it. That's called home ice advantage, friends. It is 3-1 Los Angeles.
Gagne actually pushed it back to Glenn, and Glenn
nice little
had a stick on it momentarily, but he didn't quite get control of it.
4:47 to go in the second period. Kings 3, North Stars 1. Here comes Doug Smale. Smale with the Jets going, dropped it back, and it was poked away by Brian Benning. Now Rob Blake will play it away for Los Angeles. Here's Gretzky, who got the first goal of the game. Blake almost split through, but there's Neil Wilkinson to turn that away. And they'll freeze it up now in the right corner boards in the North Star zone with 4:25 to go in the second period. 3-1 Los Angeles. Robitaille's 44th from Ellick and McSorley on a 2-0 break at 14:36 of the second.
Well, Smale had a chance there. He was skating away from Benning. He did have a good angle to shoot at. He saw Bureau trailing on the play. He thought he'd fool Benning. He tried a good little dumb pass. Benning actually skated right into the pass, broke it up. And the North Stars didn't even get a shot on net. You're trailing 3-1, and you've got a man between you and the trailer. You might as well go for the shot. Take the opportunity. It might go in the net. You might get a rebound. But the North Stars starting to pass up shooting opportunities. Have got to start putting the puck on the net when they've got a chance to score a goal.
Mark Tenorti now for the North Stars at center ice. Feature package on Dave Gagne, and look at the top 10 saves of recent games. Package also in the second intermission. Here's Alt Dahlin. Fellows heading down to the right corner. Steve Duchesne with a check pulled free. Dahlin flaring save. Rudy as they crash it. Outlet patted down by Zettler. And the Kings got it out of the zone. Steve Casper to the line. That's kicked over. The Kings will have to let that one go or be offside. Smith away for Dahlin. Alt Dahlin shoots one off the side. Now the Kings with 3:35 to go in the second period and a 3-1 lead. Pop one into the North Star zone. Of course, everybody here keeping an eye on the Oilers Flames score, which is still tied at 4 in the third period. Glenn for Minnesota. Kelly Rudy. That headband trailing down behind his helmet. Playing it away. Here comes Mike Donnelly out for Los Angeles. He's got Thompson on the wing. Arizan for Minnesota. Up for Chambers. Here's Shane Sherlock crossing the line. Ready to tap it back for Chambers. Got caught up in the skates of Tim Waters. Marty McSorley. Under 3 minutes to go in the second period. And now a little tussle between Shane Sherlock and Tim Waters. And they're both going to go.
Well, what bothers me about this call is Waters is holding Churla for a long time. Churla finally swings at him. So then he gives them both penalties. If you're going to call a penalty, call it initially. Should have called Waters right away on holding. He doesn't, so Churla swings. So now Waters will probably get holding, and Churla will get roughing. If he's holding him too long, then blow the whistle. Make the call.
The fans here are booing. Coincidental minors to Churla and Waters at 17:07. Churla gets the roughing and holding indeed to Waters, as Mr. Nanny called it for you. Fans, as we mentioned, the next and last home game of the regular season is against the team looks like the Stars will be playing in the playoffs. That's not official yet, but the Chicago Blackhawks will be at Met Center Saturday night. Hope to see you there. Poster night at the Met. You can charge your tickets by phone at 989-5151 or stop by the Stars ticket office at Met Center. Remember, student rush. Student seats available for $9.50 1 hour prior to game time. the Chicago Blackhawks. Town on Saturday night. And then Sunday, the Stars will be closing out the regular season at St. Louis, another key Norris Division matchup, regardless of the standings. Now the Saturday night game for you on Midwest Sports Channel, the Sunday night game in St. Louis, right here on Receptive Channel 9. And on into the playoffs. Easy to remember playoff dates. They start on the 4th, and they're odd dates all the way through. And with 2:33 to go in the second period, it is the Los Angeles Kings 3, the North Stars 1, and we'll face it off back in the North Stars zone. You going to talk to Mary Hart?
If she has time, she's going to come back. That's her with her husband, Bert Sugarman, the producer. The Stars come out here in Los Angeles every game. Last game, Chuck Norris should have been here tonight for the Norris division. He usually does sit over there by the penalty box. As I was saying, he charged $100 or $200 each for those seats.
He's a big Kings fan. John Candy, of course, has always been a big fan.
Tony Danza's here almost every game. You see Danza here quite often. They've got a whole bunch of stars that even play hockey. They got the Hollywood celebrities, as you know. Alan Thicke plays with them. McIver. Richard Dean Anderson from Minnesota plays with him. You're looking at Bruce McDowell.
We have a feature that we're working on, as a matter of fact, on that Hollywood Stars team, which is kind of interesting. We'll hopefully get to see it here in another telecast or two. Bruce McNall, who, of course, is also in the racehorse business, the coin and stamp, and you name it.
Football now. He bought the Toronto Argonauts with Gretzky.
Ian Gretzky in the CFL now. Take your pick. Collecting franchises or baseball cards. Bellows back, popped away. Now here come the Kings. Thomas Sanford couldn't go. Shot back by Wilkinson. Bobby Smith for Brian Bellows. Stars down by 2. Bellows shoots, and Rudy will hang on a belly high save with 2 minutes 2 seconds to go in the second period. Casper and Robitaille in this period for LA. The Edmonton-Calgary game is now at the end of regulation time, we are told, and tied at 4. So they're going to overtime.
You know, 3 of the goals were scored here tonight got scored on prop Gagne and Madano. 2 of them real fluky goals, but Gagne doesn't care if they're fluky or not. He's going to get their attention, and he made him miss a shift. You're coming right back to the Bureau's line, and since that last goal, he'll make certain that some forward is back. Whether they're scored or not, he'll say somebody's got to be back to back up the play, and he's just getting their attention defensively to make sure that they're sharp.
Now Brian Benning for Los Angeles. Sailed past Robitaille. Tenorti sails after it for Minnesota. 1:51 to go in the second period. 3-1 Los Angeles. Smale for Gavin. Stu Gavin for Minnesota. Shooting, and goodbye. A sand wedge on that one and popped her out over the glass.
The Stars are able to force the Los Angeles defense back. The one thing the Kings aren't doing is standing up in the blue line. So the Stars are gaining control of the zone, but every time they do, they're going wide, they're being forced wide. Either they're not shooting, or they're just taking the puck down deep and waiting too long to shoot. They're getting the shots deflected. Once they go wide, they've either got to lay the puck back, do something like Gretzky does and the King does, lay it back to an oncoming defenseman or a late forward, or at least get the shot away quick on the net.
Mark Tenorti for the North Stars. Trying to wheel away from Dave Taylor. Pops that, and that just caught the top of the glass and popped over again. And we'll face it off from the point of the shot as Kelly Rudy goes to the water bottle. The other night against Edmonton, he took a terrific shot in the knee, and he was in some pain, but got up and finished and continued to do the job. He took in third period on his left knee. A shot that just exploded off it. He had been in a rotation with former North Star Daniel Berthiaume, but here lately it's been all Rudy. Now Tenorti back in his own zone for Minnesota. 1:21 to go in the second. 3-1 Los Angeles lead. Delighted you stayed up late with us back home. After 11 o'clock now, but glad to be with you. Here's Mark Tenorti now for Minnesota, away from Elliott. Smale. Stu Gavin in the neutral zone. Slipped it for Bureau. Mark Bureau. Checked by Blake. A drive by Smale wide. Again, they smash into Rudy, and now we're going to have a penalty as the puck came back out again.
That's a terrible call.
Oh,
Tenorti's going towards the net. and the pass is coming there, and he's going to give him probably a roughing call because he ran into the goaltender, interference.
There's the only linesman in the league who's big enough to keep Mark Tenorti away from the referee, and Shane Heyer is 6'9".
Oh, and is Mark Tenorti hot?
I don't blame him.
He's going right for the net. He had no intention of going into anybody. Watch this. He's going right to the net right here, and he's coming full speed. He tries to stop, he can't, and look at the act by Hirudi. That is such a brutal call. I mean, I get upset in that kind of thing. Tenorti even tried to stop. Hirudi looks like he got shot by a gun, and so all of a sudden Hogarth says, oh, he's really running into him. Look at this, look. That's amazing. That's just simply amazing.
That got called as interference, friends, and the Los Angeles Kings are going to get their second power play of the night, leading 3-1. You can see the steam coming out of Mark Tenorti's helmet, I suspect, if you're down close. And you can't blame him. Tenorti for interference in 1904 of the second.
Boy, after the games like that, when you see a call like that, you'd like to take the official and after the game say, how do you call this? After the hooking and grabbing, he lets go away from the play, and some that take scoring chance away, and then call something that is incidental. Rudy gave a real good act there, and that's something that you do it good enough, you get away with it.
Fans reacting to the fact that the Oilers-Flames game has been posted as overtime now, not final, but it is 4-4 going into overtime. People are down with their hands on their heads and over their faces. They're tying out here for the Smythe Division Championship. First ever for the Kings. Now the puck in the Stars zone as they'll try to clear it. Smale, Bureau, Wilkinson, and Johnson, the penalty killers. Kings in the power play for 90 seconds. 26 seconds left in the second period. 3-1 Los Angeles. Those are all the numbers. Now here is Rob Blake for Gretzky. 15 in the period. Blake with a drive, snapped away. Gretzky misfired on the way in for Granato. 10 seconds left in the period. And the Kings' Rob Blake will pick it up at neutral ice as they'll get one final drive, a turnaround shot by Granato, but that is all. Period expires, and when we come back for the third period of play, Los Angeles will still have 1:04 left on its second power play of the night. That is the end of the second period on our FINA scoreboard. It's the Los Angeles Kings 3 and the Minnesota North Stars 1.
Wave? This is a tidal wave. Tidal wave? Tidal wave! Right now, save 20% on all music and video. Or rent any video for $1 a day. Amazing! Buy any music or video and save 20%. Rent any video for $1 a day. But be careful. With this many titles, you could get in over your head.
Tidal Wave, music and video store.
Save now during the grand opening of the newest Tidal Wave in Columbia Heights.
You'll get all the Stars Advantage perks, like preferred parking, exclusive club memberships, and merchandise discounts. It's a great idea. If you need help finding someone to share your tickets, we'll help you out. So call 853-9420, that's the number, or toll free 1-800-53-STARS. Let's talk season tickets with the Minnesota North Stars, and there is no better place to watch a pro hockey game than Met Center. It's going to be rocking and rolling here with the Chicago Blackhawks coming in Saturday night, poster night at the Met, and then very likely the Blackhawks again for the playoffs.
And that poster, by the way, that Pillsbury put together with the Doughboy is just a great picture. It's going to be an excellent souvenir item for all the fans. Everybody coming will receive one.
Looking for a big crowd Saturday night, last regular season home game, and then of course on into the playoffs. Second period underway, 3-1 the Kings. Stars now with 41 seconds of penalty to kill off on that groaner of an interference penalty assigned to Mark Tenorti at 19:04 of the second period. You can't let that worry you. You got to go out and kill it off and get right back to it here. And so here come the Kings, Granato. But the puck will be turned right away by Neil Wilkinson. Granato picks it out of the corner for Los Angeles. 22 seconds on the Kings power play. Gretzky in front. Now Granato wheeling for it. Wilkinson backhands a high one, and it'll sail out to neutral ice. Rob Blake for the Kings. They'll have to let that one go or be offside. Stars whack it out. A minute into the third period. Now 4 seconds. The Stars will be at full strength. Wayne Gretzky. That's the end of the power play. North Stars full strength. Gretzky throws it in. Sandstrom behind the net. McSorley got turned around, and Jim Johnson goes down. There's going to be a penalty coming as Johnson had gone to play the puck, and wound up on the deck, and Sandstrom bent over him as well. Stars power play when we come back early in the third period.
You're looking at Thomas Sandstrom, who slashed Jimmy Johnson down by the net. Actually hooked him, tripped him, slashed him, whatever you want to call. But the call is being called right here with the Kings getting a penalty. The North Stars going on a power play. And Sandstrom sitting out the penalty with the Kings leading 3-1 here in the third period. This Kings hockey club so hot at home of late. They're 8-1-1 in the last 10 games. Played extremely well here over the past month.
Second power play of the night now for the North Stars. Early in the third period, lots of time, and only a 2-goal margin on the road. Stars with 2 of their last 3 games in the regular season on the road, closing at St. Louis on Sunday night with that big home game against the Blackhawks on Saturday night. In between, Hawks beat Toronto tonight 5-3, while the Blues whitewashed the Islanders 3-0. Here's Mark Tenorti now on the power play for Minnesota. Prop. Gagne down the wing boards. Bellows down to help. Puck down there somewhere under Tim Waters. And now McSorley and Bellows pop each other a little bit.
Good reaction there by Bellows, just giving it right back to McSorley. You don't let him take advantage of you. And McSorley doesn't fight that much anymore. He knows he's valuable on the ice, but he still wants to get an advantage. Many times if you try and intimidate a player and you get away with it, you get that advantage. But Brian wasn't going to let him do that. They're still giving each other a little bit of lip. You see Gagne going in the corner, and this is when Waters is on top of him. Bellows comes in, and next you'll see McSorley coming in, shoving Gagne down. So Gagne took the first shot at him.
We couldn't see that from the first angle. Bellows in to help Gagne, and good team effort no matter what it takes. Mark Tenorti ready for anything.
Amazing thing about these Kings is they've given up over 80 less goals this season than they did last year. And McSorley's one of the main reasons why. As I said earlier, 45 plus coming into the game tonight, second highest in the league. He's been very solid defensively. He's had his best year by far.
Stars with 1:18 remaining on their power play. Early third period, 3-1 Kings. Here's Bellows for Minnesota. Wheels it down to the corner, tipped by Gagne behind the net. Brian Prop checked as he turned by Larry Robinson of Los Angeles. Rob Blake in there digging away. Robinson trying to pull it clear of Prop, but there's Bellows trying to slide it up high for Modano, but it's turned out of the zone by Steve Casper of the Kings and all the way back into the North Star end.
North Star passing's got to get sharper in this power play. That's been his biggest downfall thus far.
Brian Bellows crossing with Gagne, shoots one. Out of the left side. Pass Prop, kept in by Modano. 39 on the power play for Minnesota. Gagne there, try to center for Bellows. Check fore and aft. Prop goes to the corner for Minnesota with Blake closing in. Now Bellows wheels it up the boards. Brian Bellows, good move, a drive score with 2 Stars camped on the lip of the goal crease as Brian Bellows wheeled and teed it up, and the Stars score on a power play goal not 3 minutes into the third period. It's a 1-goal game now. Los Angeles 3 and Minnesota 2.
Well, Gagne might have tipped it, but a great effort by Bellows. He fakes a pass back to the point, makes a good move, and gets in the slot area. He shoots, and he's got both Prop and Gagne, one on each side of the goal. Watch this move by Bellows. He looks like he's going to give it back, and he drags McIntyre in right there. See that?
Great.
Now he shoots it towards the net, and both Prop and Gagne there at the goal.
Here's a good shot.
And Bellows taking it, letting it fly. We can't tell right here if Gagne did get a piece of it. It might have hit Gagne's leg.
Might have.
But if not, Bellows will get the goal. Needless to say, the North Stars cut the deficit to 1, trailing 3-2 on the power play goal.
They'll announce it and we'll let you know. Certainly Bellows the impetus for that one. Whether indeed he gets the goal, we'll find out in a moment. But he'll get a big point on it regardless.
Yep,
and indeed it will be Brian Bellows' goal at 2:47 of the period. Prop and Gagne get the assists in a crowd, and it's 3-2. Bellows' 34th goal of the year. Back come the Stars. Gavin centers. No. Here's a drive that just missed the mark as Rudy held his ground down. Wilkinson back out at neutral ice.
Good save there on Sean Chambers, who was on the far side of the net. Rudy sliding across, stacked his pads, and just was able to get it because Chambers was on the far side, but had the good presence of mind and hand skills to get that puck up, and it looked like it was going to go in the empty net, but Rudy with a big save. Power play goal for the Stars makes this a 3-2 game. The only power play for either team in 4 opportunities here tonight. Pavelski right in front they go, but no deflection as Casper was checked. And we're going to have a tripping penalty now that's going to give Los Angeles a power play when we come back. 3-2 Los Angeles leads. You're looking at Brian Bellows, who took down John Tonelli, going to the net, gets a tripping penalty. The North Stars will be shorthanded again right after they had an opportunity to score earlier. You see him right there. That's Bellows taking him down. Good back check by him, but he just got his legs out from under him. Here's a chance earlier. Gavin making a pass right across the ice to Sean Chambers, and Rudy coming across and just getting a pad on it as the puck's going towards the net. But the North Stars, trailing by 1, have to kill this penalty. They've done a good job on the 2 other power plays that the Kings had, not really giving them any kind of good chances. They've got to make certain that they corral Gretzky, especially behind the net, and watch the point men that like to come into the center. Now Los Angeles on its 3rd power play of the night, with Bellows off for tripping at 4:08 of the 3rd period. Bellows getting the power play goal from Proppen Gagne at 2:47. Bellows' 34th goal, as I mentioned, 18th in the power play. 71 points for Brian Bellows this year, and 33 of them have come on the power play. Kelly Rudy for Los Angeles. Now Bellows sweating out the tripping penalty. North Star penalty killers: Gavin and Berezan, Tenorti, and Rob Zettler. Robitaille out of the corner. Berezan a whack at it behind the net. Tenorti there, played it up the wing boards. Here's Steve Duchesne to rink wide, but Berezan will swing it away. Gavin hustling after it. Kelly Rudy, the Kings goalie, rips it away to the far side, and Steve Duchesne try to poke it out. Berezan pops it right in again. Brian Benning now for Los Angeles. Kings come out with 1 minute to go on their power play. Leading now 3-2, 14:49 to go. And as Wilkinson tries to clear, now it does come out. Poke at it by Rob Blake of the Kings. Neil Wilkinson killing now with Johnson, Berezan, and Gavin. Change the forwards here in a bit. Here's Blake, turned back by Stu. Gavin, Neil Wilkinson in his own zone. And he clears it all the way down, and now only half a minute remains in the Los Angeles Kings' 3rd power play of the night. Early 3rd, the Stars power play goal by Bellows makes it a 3-2 Kings lead. Over the line, Robitaille, Gretzky in the circle, right in front, but picked off by Zettler. It never got on to Casey, and Mark Bureau will clear it all the way down. Stars continuing to give LA all kinds of problem, not letting them come into their zone and controlling the puck at all. Good aggressive forechecking by the Stars, keeping the Kings off balance thus far. John Tonelli on the power play for Los Angeles. Steve Casper centering. Smale had a piece of it. A pop there by Larry Robinson, and Casey slammed the door. That's the end of the power play. North Stars full strength. Here they come back. Bellows just out of the penalty box, trying to center. Broken up. Got it back himself. Fencing with Tonelli. Bellows still there. Hauled down from behind. No penalty as the puck goes on the wing boards. Smale floats one on to Rudy. Behind the net they go. Here's Larry Robinson for Los Angeles. Now the Kings' Don Tonelli brings it away. Tonelli around a check. Pestered as he goes deep down there by Brian Glenn. Up to the point. Marty McSorley will keep it alive for Los Angeles. Popped away from Sandstrom as he's all locked up deep with Chambers. Mike Modano now comes to center for Minnesota. Locked to the right side. Here's Propp. Brian Propp cuts it, fire save by Rudy. Modano for the rebound. It just rolled away as he went off balance to his left. Gretzky brings the puck back out with Tony Granato. Granato shoots a save by Casey. Granato actually got his own rebound again. Gretzky trying to wrap it. Taken down by Glenn. Here's Propp at neutral ice. Rob Blake for Los Angeles. Over the line, off his skate, poked by Bobby Smith. Hut drive by Sandstrom, and he scores. Thomas Sandstrom whacked it into the twine, and it popped right back out again. But clearly it was in the net, and the Kings make it a 2-goal game again as Sandstrom makes it 4-2 Los Angeles at 7:33. Well, Sandstrom gets good wood on it. It actually looked like that puck was rolling a bit, but he shot it hard from 40 feet out, and just seemed to handcuff Casey on the goal stick side up high. It looked like a nothing play after the puck was lost. Gretzky gives it to Blake, who loses it right here, and it gets knocked back to Sandstrom, and it is bouncing. See that? And he just shoots it while it's bouncing. Flutters up high, but it had some speed on it. Beat Casey up on the right side and gives the King a 2-goal lead. Another lucky break. It gets poked right to Sandstrom there at the top of the circle, and he beats Casey up high.
Well, Gretzky will get an assist along with Blake on Thomas Sandstrom's 45th at 7:33 of the third. You know, we talked about Gretzky having a goal-scoring drought, which was overcome with a pair against Edmonton the other day, but he had a long assist streak that was ended in that one. Obviously, he scored the only 2 goals of the game, so obviously he didn't get an assist. He had assists for a record 23 straight games. He's got one on that one. Sandstrom regains the team goal-scoring lead at 7:33.
And Gretzky's got a 25-game scoring streak going at the same time. What's most amazing about it is the next closest scorer on the Kings is halfway to what his point total is, and that's Luc Robitaille. He's 80 points behind Gretzky.
Gretzky now with 162 points in the year with a goal and an assist tonight. And Robitaille with a goal now has a grand total, and you wonder, it looks like a lot, of 90. 11:44 to go. Kings 4, the North Stars 2. We'll be right back.
North Stars hockey, take one. Here they come, they're playing. Come on, relax, move the camera, left. These guys are fast. Hey, come on now, come on. What a save. Did you get it? I remember. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? All right, now, come on, get number 4 here. Number 4. I got him. Focus. Look at that. Huh? Did you get the goal? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I saw it. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Okay, smart guy, you try running this camera.
Order a pair of 91-92 season tickets, and we'll give you one more free.
You see a happy Los Angeles crowd celebrating as the Kings move out 4-2 ahead of the Stars.
Yeah, you get to see shots like that because it's their television shot we're taking. Just in case you wonder why we show things like that, we don't have a choice.
They've got a big market too. They broadcast as far as Hawaii. Some of the games go to Hawaii, some go into Arizona. Yeah. They've got a wide cable base here.
And radio network goes into Phoenix as well. Mexican radio station they're on this year. XTRA in Tijuana. 30 years ago, if anybody told you were going to hear hockey on a station in Tijuana, you'd have thought he was into something rather strange.
I went to Tijuana last year, and I was in a shop buying a jacket, and the fella asked the person with me where we were from, and he said Minnesota, and he said, oh, there's hockey up there. He says, yeah. He says, hockey came to California last year. That's when Gretzky got traded there. He didn't realize it was there since '67.
Why, he's not alone, I have a feeling, too.
Hockey came to California.
Last year. Here is the North Star end, and the puck comes out from Rob Zettler for Tenorti. Now Zettler again at his own blue line. 4-2 Los Angeles. 10:51 to go in the game with Lou Nanny and our producer-director Tom Mee. This is Doug McLeod at the Great Western Forum in Los Angeles. Back with you Sunday night in St. Louis for the season finale against the Blues. And then, of course, we'll have all the road playoff games here on Receptive Channel 9. Midwest Sports Channel brings you the Stars and the Blackhawks on Saturday night at Met Center. Tonelli goes for it at neutral, but Sean Chambers there. Now here's Churlin. McRae lost it to Tonelli. Open on the right side. The drive is right on to Casey from Kudelski. And McRae will lift that one away. Ryan Benning at his own blue line for Los Angeles. That stays playable. Sean Chambers to wheel after it for Minnesota. Now they'll whistle it down. 10:06 to go. It's the Kings 4, Stars 2.
Now it's 16,005 here tonight. The Kings have their 34th sellout. A great season at the gate for them as well as in the standings as they're looking to win their first division title. With a win over the North Stars would put them in good position. The Flames were tied by Edmonton tonight after the Flames had jumped out to a 4-0 lead. Edmonton came back and tied them. So at this point, Calgary sitting with 98 points, LA with 100, but LA in position here to go to 102 if they can beat the North Stars.
Game of the year so far could be their finale. Sunday afternoon. More about that in a minute as this long through pass did not work for Bob Kudelski. Checked now by Wilkinson in the North Stars zone. Madonna. There again is John Tonelli. It is loose. Kudelski got a little swat at it, but Madonna will turn it out of the corner. Pounding puck, Mike Modano. Angles it away for Gagne. 2-on-1 with Modano. A nice little jacket shot. Oh, and a save by Rudy. Oh, a little deke by Gagne. He centered Modano. Now Gagne tried to center it again. What a nice play by Gagne, centering Modano, and you got to force a big save on a shot like that.
Oh, and the shot went through. Rudy just got enough of it to change its direction and went right through his pads. Just missed the corner. Great pass by Gagne, right through the legs of the defenseman.
Blast right on to Casey from Thomas Sandstrom. Sandstrom holds on. He's talking about that big finale up at Calgary. It's a 12:30 game in that time zone on Sunday.
No, it's not.
It was going to be
right.
a 12:30 game, and Calgary, is that actually officially changed?
It is official. Well, it wasn't changed. What happened? You're looking at the shot by Sandstrom on Casey.
They didn't want to change
the game. Was scheduled. The game was scheduled for the evening, for the afternoon, and Calgary or tried to change it to the evening. That's right.
Change it to evening.
And then John Ziegler, Rogie Vachon, right, got involved, and Calgary wanted to have 2 complete days of rest, and you can't change it.
Friday.
That's right. You can't change the schedule after the season started unless the other team concurs. Calgary didn't even call Vachon, so he went to Ziegler and
said no way.
That's right.
So that it is 12:30.
That's right.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Because that was my point. LA had said you are not getting the full. They wanted it. Calgary's reason, as I understand it, was they wanted a bigger television exposure and so on for the game. You know, they don't want to play at noon if they can play at 7:30 after they just had a day and a half of rest. And LA said, yeah, right.
Especially since this is LA's last game till then.
That's right. So much for that, pal. 4-4 Oilers and Flames is an overtime final tonight. 8.5 to go. Kings 4, Stars 2. Now Wayne Gretzky at his own blue line. Look at Gretzky. Everybody gets all excited. McSorley for Gretzky. Sandstrom's blast blocked by Zettler. Gretzky just doing a little pylon skate. Now Sandstrom. Here's McSorley. Saved by Casey, but the rebound to Granato goes in.
Oh, what an effort by Gretzky. He played around in center ice for about 10 seconds. Stick handle away from 3 people. He gets over the blue line, draws traffic, and maybe the best play of all was the way he got that pass through traffic over to his left winger Sandstrom, and then eventually the puck gets worked right back to that man Granato, who gets his 30th of the year. Watch this. Good little play right here from Sandstrom over to the defenseman. He takes a shot, and then here's Granato right in front. Look at Granato, wide open net, and he puts it away. I wish we could start that a little farther back when you saw Gretzky doing his capers. But Granato with a wide open net, his 30th of the year, and the Kings up 5-2.
McSorley and Sandstrom will get points in this one at 11:50 of the third. Granato's 30th. 5-2 Los Angeles.
And that's amazing. Gretzky doesn't even get a point on that play after he just mesmerized everybody for about 15 seconds.
There are occasions when you wish you could just assign the third assist, you know, just because it righteously deserved. 5-2 the Kings, 7:45 to go in the third.
Well, here's a great one, and it was a great trade getting him here for hockey.
Watch this.
Because he sure made hockey in this state and all over the U.S. He's got more recognition because of it. And here he goes. He's being bothered in center ice. He keeps skating away from people. He gets hooked here, still finds his way through. Look at him.
Look at that.
Now watch this. He gets a pass across. After all that, he still makes the play right to McSorley. And after that, the ensuing play resulted in a goal.
And it was even prettier from up here where we had a high angle on it. He was the X and everybody else was the O's. You know?
It's a good way to put it.
Gavin shoots one through the lip of the goal crease. It's 5-2 the Kings, 7:25 to go third period. Now the puck in the Los Angeles zone. Gavin a tap at it. Popped away deep. Long range drive wide. Kings come out. Ellick. Long cross ice pass now. Dave Taylor. Checked by Glenn as he tried to get it unloaded. Gavin away from Robitaille. And that'll come out with 6:58 to go in the third period. It is the Kings 5, the North Stars 2. Penalties coming now. Smale. And of course McSorley with a paw thrown in there. Brian Glenn over to see what's what. I'm not really sure how that all started. That was away from the play, or away from the puck anyway. but Ellick was...
Well, it started with Smale over on the far side and Ellick, and then McSorley got in there, so Gagne got in there, and then Glynn got in there, and Taylor, so everybody started getting involved in it.
Now everybody's in there. 6:58 to go in the third. Kings 5, Stars 2. We'll sort all this out and be right back.
Well, the North Stars are getting an advantage out of this because Smale and Ellick were roughing, and McSorley got in there as the third man. Nope, now he's going to give one to Gagne.
Oh.
So he's going to even it all out. It'll be coincidental minors. And now Bellows comes off the bench to talk to Hogarth. Gagne sent Bellows off to ask him why Gagne got one and the Kings didn't get an extra one, because the Kings had 2-on-1 there for a moment, but Hogarth's not going to change mind, and we'll have a 5-on-5 when play resumes with the Kings leading 5-2.
13:02 of the third, the time of all these penalties. Smale and Gagne for the North Stars, Ellick and McSorley for the Kings.
He could give McSorley a double minor. We could end up with a power play, but I'm not holding my breath over that one.
No, I wouldn't. Creative salesmanship here. Lou
No,
Nanny.
it's more like wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking. Who's tried this with referees in the past on the odd occasion.
Oh, hold it. He did.
Hey, sir, look at this. So far, they're only showing the 2 to McSorley.
That means that McSorley got a double minor, which is right.
There we go. Ellick got the double. The slash was what apparently started everything.
Well, then they got the wrong number on the board because they got McSorley's number up for the 2. But
in any event, Ellick got the double, and that's what matters. We get a power play out of this.
That's right. And the North Stars will be in the power play and have to get something here. They're trailing by 3.
Ellick a double minor, roughing and slashing. McSorley a minor for unsportsmanlike. Gagne got unsportsmanlike a minor, and Smale got a minor for roughing. Power play number 3 for the North Stars, trailing 5-2. 6:40 to go, third period. Mike Modano lets her go, deflected away by Steve Casper. Out of the corner from Smith for Tenorti. Floats in, they whack at it. Bellows chip shot, deflected, and Bellows down and bumping with Tim Waters at the whistle, and they exchange pleasantries.
That one just floated over the net. Bellows, on a good play by Tenorti, just getting the puck towards the net, was in front, tried to knock it down out of the air, and then deflected into the cage and went over the top of the net. Brian Bellows giving Tim Waters a little talk, but look at this. Tenorti smart enough just to get it towards the net, which he does. There's Bellows in front. Now watch, he's going to hit this puck right out of the air. Just a piece of it by Herudi, enough to knock it away. And Herudi has just been playing outstanding of late. He was great against Edmonton the other night. He's been great here tonight. Shots on goal here tonight. The North Stars are out shooting the Kings 24-23, but the Kings are winning 5-2 because Herudi has been beating the North Stars whenever they get an opportunity in close. For the most part, he's beaten them here tonight.
Kelly Hrudey, who posted his third shutout of the year in the 2-0 victory over Edmonton the other day. Pardon the rasp here. I get a couple days this LA air, and I feel like I swallowed my shoes. 6:27 to go in the third. 5-2 Kings. 90 seconds left in the Stars power play. Mark Tenorti teed it up. Got jumped by Casper. Bellows goes to the corner. Now Smith comes in with a check on Waters. And they dig for it. Bellows and Smith trying to pull it away from Waters. Robinson there too. Now blocked behind the net on one hand. Reach for it by Smith. Bellows in the corner. Brian Bellows, nice backhand up by Tenorti, fires wide. Here's Bellows with 58 on the power play. Brian Bellows for Minnesota. Stars trail by 3. 5:49 now to go in the third period. Smith on the end boards, prop, turning, no stick for Waters. Modano faked the shot to the circle for Bellows. Modano one times it up the gut, save, and down goes Casper. Looked like he was going to draw under him for a moment, but it stays alive. 33 seconds left in the Stars power play. Down went Modano. Tenorti now for Smith. 27 in the man advantage. Bobby Smith, center point Tenorti. Shooting, saved by Hrudey. Smith keeps it alive for Minnesota, pestered by Kudelski. Here's Prop, right in front. The quick 1-2-0. Prop again, throws it up to the hash mark. Here's Tenorti, but he couldn't flatten it out. Madonna, one-time drive, saved by Hrudey. Kelly Hrudey with another tremendous save as the Stars come up with another good play. That's the end of the power play with 5 minutes to go. Madonna shoots, he scores! scores. Mike Modano. Just as the power play expired, it's a full-strength goal. Blew it right up the gut, and finally they got one in. It's 5-3 now.
After a fabulous power play by the North Stars, and Herudi just beating them time and time again, a C&I rocket by that kid Modano finds its way into the net. Great play in the corners by Bellows and Tenorti. They keep the puck down deep, and as the puck comes out to the point, watch this bullet by Modano. Just a C&I rocket, and boy, did he get something on that.
Yeah.
It seemed like it just hit Herudi's pad and overpowered it. And the North Stars get on the board, make it 5-3 with 4:55 to go. And it'll be an even strength goal because the power play had ended.
And I mean, just barely ended, like 3 seconds before. Modano's 27th of the year on that rip snorter at 15:05. Now 5-3. Stars trim the margin to 2. One thing you really like about the North Stars here in the last few months is even behind on the road, they go to work. You know, there's nobody giving up and wanting to go home. Everybody's going to roll up the sleeves, go to work, keep at it, chipping away. And no lead has been a safe lead in the late going. But another team has had it. Chambers punches it over.
That's a good point, Doug. What I really like of late is the way they play in the last 2 minutes when they've got to get a goal. They really are aggressive and have done a good job with the extra man when they pull their goalie.
Now they scrambled in front again, shot and a goal! And now it's a one-goal game as Brian Glenn with Rudy on the deck.
Well, they keep coming back, and Herudi makes another save before Glenn finally gets another chance at it and puts it away. Brian Glenn doing what the North Stars have to do now, gambling, getting involved in the play. The defenseman moving up with the play as it's kept in from the point, work down low. And here's Brian Glenn. He's way down low. You'll see the puck go back deep in the zone. Mark Bureau makes a play to get it in. Then Alf Dahlin gets it over in the boards. Now watch down low. Here's Glenn in front of the net. You'd seen him earlier. He has a first save and then reaches in the far side. That long reach of his puts it away for him.
Now it's a one-goal game, just what we were just talking about. 4:16 to go in the third. Stars keep at it as Brian Glenn nails his 8th at 15:44 of the third. Now back comes Mike Modano. Wilkinson. And the Kings will turn it out again. Dahlin and Bureau will get the assists on Glenn's 8th of the year at 15:44 the third period. 5-4 game. Now we go right down to it with 3:45 to go. Gagne, big deke, the drive from the left side by Wilkinson. Johnson back at his own line. Stars now trail by 1. Johnson fires to the stick of Rudy. Here's Luc Robitaille for the Los Angeles Kings. 30-23 North Stars now in shots on goal. 3.5 to go. 5-4 Kings. Gagne off the stick of Wilkinson. McSorley out of the corner. Kings are going to ice the puck here as Chambers picks it up with 3:13 to go in the third period. Now the North Stars scoring 2 goals 39 seconds apart and narrowed it to 5-4.
One thing they've just changed, the goal that went to Bellows. Remember, we were talking about Gagne down front. He did deflect it. Gagne did get the second goal. Here's Glenn's goal after the first save by Herudi. He reaches it with that big reach of his and just puts it in the net. So change that second goal. Brian Bellows did not get it. It did get deflected by Gagne down in front of the net. Gagne got his 40th of the year, 2 years in a row with 40 goals. Nice to see.
Very nice indeed. A power play goal it will be, nonetheless. That's the first goal of the third period for the North Stars and their second overall. 2:47 of the third period.
And the North Stars still staying aggressive, going at the Kings, putting pressure on. Defense getting involved in the play. Good rink-wide passing. They just missed the net on a couple of chances because they continued to put pressure on right after they made it 5-4. Looked like they were going to get the 5th one.
5-4 Kings, 3:09 to go. Here's Bellows shooting and deflected in a screen and out of play.
I'd like to know how many deflections we've had tonight by the Los Angeles Kings on the North Stars where they just get their stick on the puck at the last minute, get it deflected over the glass.
Now with 3 minutes 6 seconds to go, the North Stars playing to tie it right now, well knowing that they've had plenty of overtime games this year. and have done pretty well. In fact, 14 of their 66 points have come in overtime games. I don't mean to jump the gun here, but their last overtime win was against these Kings New Year's Eve. Here's Ulf Dahlin now for the North Stars. Taylor for Los Angeles could not get in because John McIntyre had been tied up deep in the North Star zone, so he had to wait a minute. 2:45 to go. 5-4 Kings. Robitaille behind the North Star net. Solid wall there. Robitaille tries the other side for a deflection. That's up for grabs. Tenorti is down there, so also is McIntyre. Here comes Bellows for Minnesota. Brian Bellows. All the way through neutral. Checked as he turned back into the Kings zone. Wayne Gretzky got it out for Robitaille. Stopped in his tracks and Modano turns it back in. 2:15 to go. 5-4 Los Angeles. The Kings' Larry Robinson. That's going to ice as Wilkinson hustles after it with Sandstrom and does just get there ahead of Thomas Sandstrom. 2:05 to go. 5-4 Los Angeles.
And the North Stars will take all the face-offs they can get in Los Angeles zone now. One, it'll give them a rest so they can play Gagne's line more often. Secondly, it'll give them a chance to win the draw. Third, it'll give them a chance to pull the goaltenders. You look at Thomas Sandstrom, who's had a great season here for the Kings, now going to the bench. The Kings will come up with their checkers as much as possible. People like Kasper, Tonelli, McIntyre, Kudelski, those are their top checkers, and you could expect to see them for most of the part. Doug, one thing I noticed in the Chicago game here tonight, Balfour got pulled in the third period, and Hasek got put in.
Dominic Hasek.
Yeah, and so they mustn't be too happy with Balfour lately. He gave up 2 80-foot goals to Toronto 2 nights ago, and tonight when Toronto got that goal by Loisel that tied it at 3 for a moment, in the third period they yanked him and put in Hasek.
Dominic Hasek continues to get some playing time. Belfour replaced him in a recent game. Saw one shot. That went in. The power play goal. There was much shaking of the head.
Well, what happened there was it was a 5-on-3 at the time, and so he wanted to pull Hasek and go with his hot hand. It was a big game, but
turned out to be didn't quite pan out. 31-24 Stars and shots on goal. 2:05 to go in the third period. It is Kings 5, Stars 4. Discussion of Brian Glynn over in the North Star bench. And Rader with a few words there on the Kings bench. Rick Wilson with his arms up in the air like, why don't we drop the puck? Former assistant in North Dakota, among other things.
Well, I like the way the Stars keep battling back. As you were saying earlier, they're not out of any games.
No.
And boy, they just keep coming at you in the third period. This is the best in a couple of years that they've been playing late in the game. They're tying games with the goalie out. They've been able to win games late in the game. In the third period, they're starting to feel that they've got confidence that they can come from behind, something that's very important going into the playoffs.
They were down 5-3 until Modano blasted one in at 15:05, and then Glenn 39 seconds later nailed his eighth. Now LA leads by 1 under 2 minutes to go, right to the goal post, and Rudy had it in there somewhere.
What a chance. Point blank. This Rudy has just been playing great for it. Right on the doorstep, Ulf Dahlin with a point-blank shot. Rudy making the save. God, a good play from behind the net. You see the pass come out, and that was Dahlin right behind the net. Smith very wisely tying up the defense in front and allowing Dahlin to be free to take that shot. And Dahlin was beaten by a Rudy, and the game stays 5-4 the Kings. 1:54 to go here in the third period.
North Stars back home for the regular season finale at home ice against the Chicago Blackhawks on Saturday night. Sunday night we'll wrap up the regular season campaign at St. Louis right here on Receptive Channel 9. I sure hope you'll be with us. Now the face-off coming in the Kings zone to the right of the goal as Rudy looks at it. Smith, Dahlin, Bellows with North Stars goalie John Casey had pulled at 18:06 of the third period. Modano, Gagne, Tenorti. And the Kings ship it out of the zone. Won't go into the empty net. Modano and Smith sail back, and icing on Los Angeles.
Boy, I don't know how the Kings player missed putting his hand on the puck and passing it. That would have that's allowed now anyway, but that was a good play for him to get it out of harm's way, because Bobby Smith had that centerman tied up long enough. when Bobby's able to tie up that centerman that long, the Kings have got to be eliminated. The players there have got to be taken up by the North Stars because the North Stars have an extra man and they've got to come up with that loose puck. But the Kings came up with it instead, and they just went for the open net and missed it.
That's what it looks like from the North Stars end, where there's no sign of life because John Casey's on the bench, as we mentioned. 6-on-5 advantage, the empty net behind, trailing 5-4 with 1:44 to go. Here we go, a swat at it by Gagne. Smith behind the net. Big finish on the road here for the North Stars. How will it end? Modano from the point. Bellows got nailed right in front. Tenorti, a high stick right in his face, it looked like, by McSorley. Maybe not. Might have caught him on the helmet. Here's Marty McSorley. And John McIntyre eyeing the empty net. Missed it. Bobby Smith trying to get it out of the zone. Kept in by Casper. Here's McIntyre. Modano and Smith go after it, and the empty net goal goes to Kudelski. Robert Kudelski with 1:12 to go makes it 6-4 Los Angeles into the empty North Star net.
He swatted it right out of the air. A good play by McIntyre. He went behind the net and waited for somebody to come and just dumped it out front. And Kudelski coming in, trailing the play right in the middle. Watch this, McIntyre going behind. He stops and takes a look right here and just dumps it. Flips it right out front, right out of the air. Look at that, Kudelski. A little bit lucky there, but a good baseball player can do it. And he must be able to hit a baseball because he knocked that one right out of the air into the open net. And the Kings go up by 2.
Empty net goal by Bob Kudelski, who, as I mentioned earlier, had missed 7 or 8 games with a bruised ankle and is only just getting back into the lineup. That will be Kudelski's 23rd goal of the year. Casey is back in now with 1 minute to go in the third period. Sailed through everybody, and Casey will haul that away from Wayne Gretzky. I hope. Dahlin. 49 seconds to go in the third. Stars trail now by 2, 6-4. Glenn over the line. Bobby Smith. Wilkinson for the North Stars. There goes Casey again, off at 19-23. 6-on-5 again. Shot, score! It's a 1-goal game with 34 seconds to go as Mike Modano gets his second of the game.
Modano came off the bench when Casey went to the bench. Modano was the late man on the play. Came in from the blue line and saw an opening. Rather than staying up high, he went for it. He went down low and he gets that puck right in front of Rudy. Comes across the goal mouth and scores again with 34 seconds to go. Watch Modano. He's going to come right down low right there. Steals that puck in front and puts it away. And puts the North Stars back within 1. As we say, they don't die. They keep coming at you. And we'll have a timeout now.
Stars coach Bob Gainey calls time with 34 seconds to go in regulation time. He said optimistically, with the Kings leading, but now it's 6-5. Modano scoring his second of the game and 28th of the year at 19-26 to the third with the extra man advantage and Casey on the bench. So it's 6-5, and again we go right down to the wire with the North Stars. And I'll tell you, but for Kelly Rudy, this could have gone as a North Star win already. Smith and Bellows will get the assists on Modano's goal at 19-26 of the third period.
The North Stars with 33 shots here tonight have put pressure on throughout this game. They've had a pretty consistent attack and really victimized by 2 fluke goals by Los Angeles. And some of these have got to start turning the North Stars' way. It happened in Washington the other night, Doug.
Yeah.
They got a goal from 80 feet, a weird bounce.
I saw the tape.
They've been getting some of these strange goals against us, and I think maybe our luck's going to start to change at the right time, right before the playoffs.
I just as soon have them go right now and then change in the playoffs. Casey will get over as soon as he can. Half a minute to go in the third. 6-5. Casey is off at 19:31 of the third period. There's a swat, nothing doing there. Cleared out of the Kings zone. Empty net ahead for Donnelly. Hit this goal post. I gotta wonder how long it can take to hit an empty net. Kudelski couldn't go. 12 seconds left in the third period. Here comes Gagne. 7 seconds to go. He threaded it through for Bellows, and it just popped away. Oh, what a play. That's the end of the game, but oh man, the woulda, coulda, shouldas are getting ridiculous now. What a great play. Oh, man. But it's over, and the Kings win the game.
Unbelievable.
Oh, man. That is the end of this one. It is Los Angeles 6 and the North Stars with a 4-goal explosion in the third. 5. We'll be right back at the Forum in Los Angeles.